There is a kind of power that does not shout, it does not chase, it does not even move, and yet it pulls the world toward it like gravity. That power is stillness. Most women are terrified of stillness. They fidget, they chatter, they explain. They rush to fill silence with words. They believe that to hold attention, they must perform. But true magnetism does not perform. True magnetism is calm, self-contained, unshaken. The woman who can hold still, who can wait without breaking, who can breathe while others scramble, becomes unforgettable. Why? Because the human mind is wired to notice contrast. In a noisy world, silence is thunder. In a restless crowd, stillness is the brightest flame. Picture a crowded room. Everyone talks, laughs, and gestures wildly. One woman sits in quiet poise, her movements measured, her presence steady. She does not beg for attention. She simply exists, serene and controlled. Within minutes, eyes drift toward her. People wonder, who is she? Why does she look so calm when everyone else is restless? This is magnetic stillness. Psychology explains it further. Humans are addicted to tension. We crave resolution when we see something that does not fit the pattern. When everyone is moving but one person resists, that person becomes the focal point. Our brains fixate on the anomaly. The effect is so strong that entire systems of power are built on it. In negotiations, the one who can stay silent longest gains the upper hand. In seduction, the pause before the kiss electrifies the air. In conflict, the calm stare unravels opponents more than the loudest shouting ever could. Stillness is not passivity, it is control. But here is the secret. Stillness only works when it is chosen. When you could speak but remain silent, when you could react but do not, when you could collapse but instead breathe deeply and wait. That choice radiates strength. A restless woman appears nervous, a still woman appears powerful. Think of a queen. She does not flinch at every sound. She does not scramble to explain herself. She moves rarely, and when she does, every gesture matters. That is what you must embody. Even history proves this law. Cleopatra captivated not only with beauty, but with restraint. She understood the art of the pause, the glance that lingered, the silence that made men fill in the blanks with obsession. Elizabeth thus faced Parliament with long pauses, making men tremble before her word even came. Marilyn Monroe practiced stillness. She knew that if she froze on the street, the crowd would freeze with her, hypnotized. Stillness is powerful because it forces projection. People cannot stand a void. When you remain calm, they fill that void with fantasies, fears, and questions. And in doing so, they magnify you. The woman who explains every thought is forgotten. The woman who withholds, who lets her silence linger, becomes a riddle, and riddles are unforgettable. But how do you practice this art of stillness in your daily life? First, control your body. Stop fidgeting. Stop rushing. Slow your walk. Let silence hang before you answer. Own your physical space. Second, control your voice. Speak after a pause. Lower your tone. Cut out filler words. A pause before you answer makes every word heavier. Third, control your reactions. When provoked, do not flinch. Do not defend. Hold the gaze, breathe, and let silence cut deeper than any insult. Fourth, control your presence. Do not chase attention. Sit back. Allow others to orbit you. The sun does not move to reach the planets. The planets circle the sun. This is the essence of stillness. But remember, stillness must carry energy. If you are silent but anxious, people feel it. If you are silent but radiant, people crave it. The secret is intention. Stillness must say, I choose this. I am in control. Imagine yourself practicing it. At dinner, instead of filling every pause, you sip your glass and let silence breathe. The man across from you leans in, desperate to know your thoughts. At work, you wait before speaking, then deliver one line with calm precision. In conflict, you let the other rage, while you remain untouchable. Do you see the pattern? In every scenario, stillness commands attention without chasing it. But stillness is not just for romance or power. It is also for self-mastery. In stillness, you hear your own thoughts. You become rooted. And a rooted woman cannot be moved by the winds of others. The paradox is this: the less you do, the more they chase. The quieter you become, the louder your impact grows. So ask yourself, do you rush or do you radiate? Do you fidget or do you command? Do you collapse into the noise or do you bend the noise to your stillness? Because in a world drowning in movement, the one who is still becomes unforgettable. Let us go deeper. Why does stillness haunt people? Because it triggers their deepest fears and desires. Silence makes people project. They wonder what you know. They fear what you hide. They imagine what you might be thinking. And imagination always exaggerates. This is why interrogators use silence more than questions. The pause breaks people faster than pressure. And it is why seduction thrives on pauses. The delay makes anticipation unbearable. The brain is wired to crave closure. The Zeigarnik effect shows that we remember incomplete experiences more than finished ones. A conversation cut short burns longer than one that was wrapped neatly. A smile held too long lingers in memory far longer than a flood of words. By practicing stillness, you turn yourself into the unfinished story, the mystery people replay endlessly. Think of mythology. The goddess Hestia, symbol of the hearth, never left Olympus, but her stillness made her the center of worship. Medusa's power was not noise, but a single gaze that froze men into stone. The geisha, trained in silence and poise, commanded more attention with a still glance than with endless conversation. These women, real and mythical, prove that motion is ordinary. Stillness is divine. Now ask yourself, how can you weave stillness into your daily rhythm? In conversation, let silence stretch before you respond. It will make others lean forward, desperate for your words. In romance, do not rush to reply to every message. Let space grow. Let anticipation work for you. In conflict, replace anger with stillness. Nothing is more humiliating to an opponent than a woman who does not react. In presence, reduce your movements. Every gesture must mean something. A turn of your head should feel deliberate. A glance should feel intentional. And in self-mastery, use stillness as your daily ritual. Sit in silence for 5 minutes every morning. Breathe deeply. Train yourself to resist the world's frantic pace. The power of stillness is not only external, it is internal. It trains discipline, patience, and control. And a woman who controls herself cannot be controlled by anyone else. Now imagine the effect. Men obsessed, replaying your pauses. Rivals unsettled, destroyed by your calmness. Crowds drawn to you without knowing why. This is magnetic stillness. The woman who rushes is forgotten. The woman who pauses is remembered. The woman who begs for attention is ignored. The woman who withholds attention becomes a queen, and the woman who collapses into noise is lost. But the woman who masters silence commands eternity. So practice stillness. Breathe. Hold your gaze. Withhold your words. Let silence work for you. Because in the end, attention is not won by force. It is surrendered to the one who does not need it. Stillness is not weakness. It is mastery. And the woman who embodies magnetic stillness does not need to ask for respect. She receives it without a single word.